Hey everyone, it's Chris Pombonyo back for day 2 of SDE's National Conference here in Las Vegas. I'm hanging out in the ESGI booth, kicking things off with a quick presentation this morning on Lights, Camera, Teach. Lights, Camera, Tech, excuse me. Lights, Camera, Tech is all about engaging our students with technology in the classroom because we know that they love it, that we get results. So I'm hanging out with a bunch of my friends here. How y'all doing? Oh, I know it's early and you have your coffee. So louder than that. How you doing? There you go. Awesome. So we're going to kick things off. For those of you who don't know, my name is Chris Pombonyo. I am currently going to be a 3rd grade teacher in Harlem in New York City. Super excited about that. I previously taught 1st and 4th grade. A little bit about me. I grew up doing theater, so I was always on the stage. I was super involved in it. And for, clicker. We all click this slide. For everyone's bat mitzvah, bar mitzvah, sweet 16, like I said, I grew up in New York, so we went to New York City to see a Broadway show. Anyone know what show this is from? Or in the comments, you can comment what show this is from. Wicked. Awesome. Yeah, so I was really fortunate because for everyone's party, we got to get a group of friends, go on a little town car, limo, whatever you want to call it, and go see Wicked. So I saw it about 5 times by the time I was 16. No joke. But every time I was there, I was completely in the show for those 3 hours. So think about the last time you saw a show, maybe on Broadway or at a local theater or even at a local high school. For those 3 hours, you're not worried about what you're making for dinner or what's happening tomorrow or things like that. You're completely in the show. And our classroom needs to be like that too. Thank you. Thank you for clicking. So I love this quote right here. When you go to the theater, if you're really involved in the play, you don't think about it, you're in it. So you're completely in it for those 3 hours. And if we make that analogy with our classroom and treat our classroom like a show, our students will be in it for those 3 hours as well. So now as an adult, one of my best friends growing up, Danny, so if he's watching, Danny, shout out, he was actually in Wicked on Broadway and understudied one of the leads, so I got to see it again, this time with one of my best friends in it. And for that 3 hours, I was completely in the show. I knew all the words to the songs. I knew exactly their costumes, who was doing what. But I started to think about, well, what makes us completely in the show? So we have the costumes, we have the music, we have the actors and actresses who are great, but there's something that gives it that extra boost, and that's technology. Sorry. Clicker's not working, so yeah, it's on. So technology enhances the experience. You can go ahead, click. Technology enhances the experience for the show, and the same thing happens for our students. So in our classroom, if we integrate technology as much as possible, it's enhancing the experience and adding that kind of magic to it. Is this you? This might be, people are like, yes. Someone's like, that is me, totally. Why? Because of this. Every single time, right? Am I right? Every time we try to do something cool with technology, we get this, I call it the circle wheel of death because I have a MacBook. Like right now, the clicker's not working, so I can't click through. Because every time you try something, something will go wrong. The Wi-Fi's not working, or who knows what's happening. But with technology, we have to step out of our comfort zone. Because where the magic happens, it's outside of our comfort zone. So we can't live in this bubble of worrying about what is going to happen. Is the Wi-Fi going to go down? Did the teacher before me not charge the iPads the night before? Or whatever it might be. We need to step out of our comfort zone for our students to make that magic in our classroom. Now, why technology? Go ahead, Holly. Why not? Keep clicking. It's easier with the clicker, I promise. It's because technology enhances the experience. Just like that Broadway show we talked about, technology enhanced the experience. It was way cooler to watch it when set pieces were flying in and out, and the lights and the sound, all of that enhanced the experience. Would have been great without that, obviously, because they're very talented, but that enhanced the experience, and it's the same thing in our classroom. Technology enhances the already amazing things that we're doing with our students, so we need to integrate it as much as possible. These are the 4 ways I use technology in my classroom. And my voice, can you tell it's early? I haven't had coffee yet. Engage, assess, create, and collaborate. So I use it to engage my students. They love it. They have it at their fingertips. I engage them in my classroom with it. Assess. Technology is the best way to assess your students with tricking them that it's an assessment. They think it's fun. They think they're using the technology. But there's great ways you can use the technology to pull that formative assessment to guide your instruction later on, without them even knowing that. So technology provides us that. And to create and collaborate with each other or work together as a group. So I'm not going to give you the best 5 apps for teaching reading to 1st graders, because if you wanted that, you could just Google it and then find the best 5 apps. I'm giving you some my favorites of technology tools to add on to your classroom to enhance that experience to engage our students. So, first one is TWazzi. No, perfect. So these are my top tech tools. The first one is TWazzi. So if you want to take a picture of the screen or screenshot or write, and in the comments, if you have any tips, if you used it before, let us know there as well. So, TWazzi, I think I'm saying that right. I taught first grade, so I'm using my best phonics skills. I don't know. CH with the W is throwing me off, but I say TWazzi, and I'm going to go with it. TWazzi is an awesome app, and it's totally free. It's very simple, but the engagement it adds to your classroom is very beneficial. So here's how it works. I would have an iPad. So I have an iPad right here, or your phone, whatever you want to do. You download the app. Now, I put it in the middle of my group. So if you all were my group, I would put it in the middle, and we'd all put our fingers on the screen. We'd all put our fingers on the screen. There we go. Okay, there we go. There we go. They got it. It's early. I told y'all. It's early. You're good. So each of this represents one of our fingers. So I would be the orange. Someone would be pink, blue, yellow, and white. Then it's circles, circles, circles. And then within 2 seconds, a color will pop up. That's the student who would respond to the question. They would respond to the prompt. They would be their turn to do something. So it's a random responder that adds that anticipation that we love. Just like when they call lotto numbers and you're sitting at the TV like, oh my gosh, what are they going to pick? It's the same thing for our students. They love that it's turning, 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 and then a color pops up. Another setting you can do on it is you can form groups. So if we all put our fingers in, they got it this time. First time they got it. Awesome. So we all put our fingers in. Now I can do partners. So if I wanted to say I want to do 6 groups, we'd all put our fingers in. All of it would light up, light up, light up. And then all of a sudden, you and I, our fingers would turn pink. You guys would turn blue. You all would turn white and so forth. So I would know that I work with the other pink. So it's super easy, but adds that little engagement instead of saying, okay, you're going to work with, oh no, y'all can't work together because your parents said you can't sit next to each other, or what happened at recess the day before and the lunch monitor. So this is an easy way to group students without wasting time in your classroom, and it adds that anticipation and engagement factor. The next one is quizzes. So a lot of you are familiar with this game show type format in your classroom. Quizzes is something that I absolutely love. So quizzes, there's pre-made ones. And how it works, you can go ahead and click the next slide. There's a 5-digit code that you would show to your students. Now, on quizzes, there's 4 different options. So this is very similar to Kahoot if you use Kahoot in your classroom, but here's the differences from it. It's student self-paced. So not everyone has to do it at the same time. Great if you don't have a lot of devices in your classroom. You can kind of differentiate on how you're using it and what. And this is good in any grade level. It's student self-paced. So students can work on their own as they're working through. And not everyone has to do it at the same time. So if you have students that take longer to complete something, they can take that longer time. If you have students that finish fast, they can do it in that fast time, and it won't affect your lesson or the game at all because they can do it on their own time. Not everyone has to do it at the same time. Also great for if you only have a few devices that someone can start at 8 a.m. When they're done, someone can go on and do it. It has that interactive game show type music where it's intense. There's a question. After you get the question right or wrong, a meme pops up. So it might be like SpongeBob and say like, you're doing great or something like that. You can even create your own memes, which is super fun for your students. So you can take a picture of yourself like, keep up the good work or anything like that. And they'll absolutely love it. The questions also pop on the student device. So unlike other programs like this, the questions are on the actual student device. They don't have to correlate from the presenter board to their device to click the answer. Everything is right where they need on the device. You can do live or homework mode. So oftentimes I'll assign it for homework. So all you do is you set homework mode. You give your students the 5-digit code. They go on the website. They type in the 5-digit code, and they complete whatever questions you've programmed there in this game show type format. It ranks them in a leaderboard. It has that music, like I said. And the great thing about homework mode is that they will beg to do it. Do your students beg for homework? Yeah, give a thumbs up or a thumbs down if they beg for homework. I don't know. My students do not beg for homework until I found quizzes. They are begging me to assign quizzes for homework because it's fun. Now, usually you'll hand maybe a worksheet or something for homework and say, okay, today you're going to do page 56, odds only. And they go home and they're like, oh, they're dreading it. Their parents are like, sit down and do your homework. With quizzes, I can take those same problems from the worksheet and I can put them into quizzes and create it, and my students will do it 6 times in one night. So those 15 questions, they're doing it 6 times because they want to rank the leaderboard and get as high as possible on that. It also is, so you can see who put what, who finished at this time, how many times they took it, and right or wrong answers. Plickers. Plickers is a QR app, so you'll set it up on their website. These are my first graders. Aren't they cute? They're so cute. So Plickers is a QR code app, so you go to their website, and you automatically put your roster of students. Once you do that, it will give you a PDF of QR codes to print out. So number 1 would be with you, number 2, based on how you set up your roster. Now, that's important because of the data that it's going to show you next. So how it works is they all have that, and on the back of it, I write A on one. I'm going to use this as an example. So if this was my QR code on the back, I would write A up here. If I turn it this way, I would put a B. If I turn it this way, I would put a C. If I turn it this way, I put a D. And it tells you which side is which. Depending on which way they turn that QR code is the answer that they'll lock in for a question. So I'll put a question up. They say A, B, C, or D. I'll say final answer, like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire style. They'll turn it to which answer they want by which one is facing up. And then if you click the next slide, this is what happens. I can hold up my phone to the whole group, and it automatically scans all their QR codes in one holdup. You don't have to go by each student individually. It'll scan all the students and give you this data right over here where it shows the student name, what they put, A, B, C, or D, and then you can revisit that later to guide your instruction. I'll often use this in the middle of my whole group lesson for something I just taught. So I'll say, okay, we just went over main idea or something like that, and I'm going to give them a question, maybe 2 or 3, and I'll use this immediately to form my small group. Oftentimes we say, okay, today I'm going to meet with the red group, or today I'm going to meet with the blue group, but maybe those students don't need the skill you're working on that day. So if I do this after my whole group lesson as an exit slip type thing, then I can pull all my students that have the red and work with them immediately to provide that intervention because I know exactly who didn't get it based on their answers. Now, they don't know they're being assessed. They know that I can see this, but it's fun for them because they have this QR code. It locks in final answer, and they love that it populates all like that. So super easy to use. You only need one device for this one, so that's really great if you only have limited devices. Classflow. Classflow, if you haven't heard of it, is totally awesome for any grade level. You can use it in kindergarten. You can use it through college, and here's how it works. Thank you, Holly. Holly's that one behind the screen. You can go to the next one. So I have a passage up here that I want my students to read. So I create this. I can import a PowerPoint. I can do whatever I want to create this presentation. Super user-friendly, super easy to use that I can upload whatever I want. So I just put a passage up here from my friend Hope King on Cheetahs. So I put the passage there. When I'm ready, I can click a button on my screen and send that passage to my student devices. So I can have them in groups. They can have their own device. You can be in a lab if you have that at your school. Send it to their devices. Then I can automatically send them when I'm ready. It's all on my control. Send them some tools that they can use on that passage. So I can give them a multiple choice question about the passage, and they can click A, B, C, or D. They send it back to me. I have all that data immediately, and these are all free. True or false, scales, a text response. If I say respond to the passage with a short summary of it, they can type that in right there if you have older students. If I say find 3 sight words in there, you can type them there. They can send them to you. The one I use it for the most is creative, and here's how. There's highlighter, annotate. You can draw on it. Go ahead, Holly. So I can send it to them. I can give them the creative tools. They can then highlight my passage. They can then draw on the passage. They can annotate it, send that slide back to me, and then later I can see, did they actually get that? What did they do? So I can have them work on it. Also great for math. If you send them a word problem on the top with a blank on the bottom, they can full on work on that word problem on the screen. You can see all of their work because they're drawing with the drawing tool. They send it back to you. You have all that to check later. You can go through it. You don't have all those papers to go through. You just click through everyone's submitted slides for that problem, saving you tons of time in your classroom because you're not going through that way. And the kids love doing it because it's super engaging with our technology. Epic. Anyone watch Netflix? We're teachers, and you're telling me 2 people watch Netflix? Y'all are kidding me. Okay, there we go. Then like 40 hands went up. Okay. So Epic is the Netflix for books. So you can go ahead. It's totally free for teachers, and here's how it works. And teachers love free, yes? Can I get an amen for that? Yes, hearts on Facebook for teachers loving free things. So Epic is the Netflix for books. You can online create custom bookshelves for all of your students. So you set up a bookshelf for each of your students, and you can put books of their interest, their reading level in their custom bookshelf. They can also add books on their own to that bookshelf and organize their bookshelf that way. They can then organize all of these books totally for free at home at any time on any device. So it can be a phone, an iPad, a computer, the library, totally for free, access to all of these books. They have guided readers, they have audiobooks, they have books in Spanish, they have popular titles, chapter books, anything you can think of, great nonfiction books could be here. I'll often do this to my students, so for homework, I know they're going to go on and they're going to read, and some of them choose this option. So they talked about maybe a basketball game they went to that weekend, so I said, oh, I put a new book in your bookshelf today. And they'll say, oh my gosh, what was it? I'll say, I don't know. You'll have to log in later and see. And then they go home and they're so excited to see that you thought of them and you put something of their interest into their bookshelf. They are 10 times more likely to read that book because you personally picked that book for them. So think about that in your classroom, how effective that could be, that all it takes you is searching basketball on there, because we're not going to go to the real library and search for a basketball book to say, hey, I found this for you. That would take us forever to go through the real library and pull out that book. But on here, it's super simple. You just search it, and then you can do it that way. And the last tool that I love for technology in my classroom is ESGI. So we're here at the ESGI booth. We've been talking about it all week, and here's how ESGI works. ESGI is a one-on-one assessment tool for your students. So if you want a demo, they'll show it to you right over there, or stay tuned on Facebook, anything like that. But this week only, they're offering a free trial. So how it works is you visit www.esgisoftware.com. If you enter the promo code LIVE, L-I-V-E, your trial will be extended 3 months. So just this week only, so sign up this week, enter that code, and you can get one-on-one assessment data. So you test your students on your iPad, any device you want. You click yes or no. It automatically generates the data for each individual student. And then with one click, you can generate parent letters that say, here's what they tested on today, here's what was incorrect, here's what was correct, and flashcards that go with all those incorrect answers. Automatically generated. You don't have to type a thing. For each student, it will say what they got correct and incorrect. Send that letter home to the parents. You can email them the PDF, and you can have those flashcards with all the incorrect so they can work on that at home. So that's ESGI. If you want to try it, once again, it's www.esgisoftware.com, and you enter the promo code LIVE, L-I-V-E. Awesome. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, I'll be hanging around here. If you have any questions, you can put them in the comments below live on Facebook, and I'll make sure to respond to them right after this video. On Twitter and Instagram, @Chris Pombonyo. Thank you all so much.